Hi friend. In the previous video I started my story and I got somewhere or in my 20s, and that's where it ended, with basically with me getting Lyme disease. I'm glad after I got Lyme disease that I didn't know it, because if I had been diagnosed with Lyme, I might have undergone the standard treatment, which is, in my view, usually causes more harm than good. So I knew some about health. I had some sources of information, good sources of information about health, that I followed those principles, and I'll probably share more in future videos about that. But I followed those principles, and or at least tried to. I have a sweet tooth, and struggle with implementing some things, but anyway, did my best, and I believe that was the best approach I could have taken. A good lifestyle, exercise, good diet, use of drinking plenty of water, things like that. So I got to the point for about 3 years after getting Lyme. I got Lyme in the summer of 1982. I was my birthday's in August, so I was either 21 or 22 when I got Lyme. And for the next 3 years, about the only thing I did was go to work and come home and lay on the bed. I worked in printing shops mostly, and I was able to manage that, running small presses, doing, I was actually a stripper, which in the printing world is not a bad term. But I did a lot of stripping and plate making, which refers to the process of taking pictures with a big camera and then preparing the negatives to go on the plate and to expose the plate and then develop the plate. Anyway, I was able to print, I was able to work, but my energy was very, very low. And so most of the rest of the time I would lay on my bed and read when I wasn't working or sleeping. So that was a tough time. I kind of was a hermit during that time, which I found out later is not unusual for Lyme sufferers to become somewhat paranoid and take themselves out of society. But toward the end of those 3 years, I started realizing my life was going nowhere. I was working in printing shops, but I didn't really want to have my own printing shop. I didn't want to go into business. I didn't feel like I had those skills. And the pay was very low, and I just thought there must be something else I could do. So I decided to go back to school and take engineering. Go back to college. I'd already had 2 years of college, but I hadn't graduated. So I went back, started in engineering, realized pretty quick that my math and science background were not good in high school. I had very little math and science background, and I just physically could not keep up. I couldn't give my studies the amount of time that they needed. I couldn't stay up late. So, with Lyme disease, I just had very little energy, so it was hard. So a friend recommended electronics technology instead of electrical engineering, which I was taking. And so after 2 quarters in the engineering program, I decided, after talking with a lot of people, to switch to electronics technology. So I graduated with that, And I'll try to summarize. I have a long life story, and I worked in the Portland, Oregon area, Hillsboro to be specific, for 3 years, 2.5 years as an electronics engineering technician. And then I went to Guam for 5 years, and I was a broadcast engineer. I worked on shortwave radio transmitters and antennas. It was a shortwave radio station. After that, I came back. I taught for a couple quarters, taught computer technology at a community college, Walla Community College. I decided to go, my girlfriend was in Montana, so I moved to Montana and went to the University of Montana for 2 semesters, I believe it was, or maybe 1 semester. I forget. I think it was 1 semester. I was planning to get my master's in programming, but I'm glad I didn't, because I don't have aptitude for programming. And I only have a couple minutes left. This is taking longer than I expected, but so we ended up breaking up a couple or 3 years later. I got married at the age of 40, and for various reasons, the low energy was a big part of it. I just didn't know how I could have the energy to. It was hard enough to keep up with life as a single, but I couldn't imagine doing it as a married person. So, long story short, I'm 64 now, and I'm still working somewhat as an electronics technician. It's a job that involves a lot of assembly line work as well, but I get to use some of my electronic skills in troubleshooting. And I'm thankful to be alive, frankly, because not many people who have had Lyme as long as I have, which was since 1982 until 2025, currently January of 2025. Not many people have had Lyme that long and are still around. So I'm thankful for the life and health I do have. I want to share with you a couple of books that I really appreciated over the last 2 or 3 months. One is called Break the Mold by Dr. Jill Krista. She talks about mold sickness and how to deal with it, how to get well from mold sickness. The other book is called Dirty Genes by Dr. Benjamin Lynch. Dirty Genes. And he talks about how genetic variations can cause issues with people, but how they can, through lifestyle and supplements, how they can deal with those and have a good life. So highly recommend those 2 books. I got them on Audible, Amazon Audible, on a free trial, and I was able to listen to both of them and still have them because of that free trial. Anyway, we'll talk with you soon. Have a blessed day.